Cool. All right, we are back. I think we got some solid topics for today's pod. I wanted
Awesome.
to I wanted to start with and I mentioned him before, but the founder of Minted. I Dude, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I'm definitely gonna get this wrong, but it's Marcus Milione. I think that's how you pronounce it. Um he recently went on a TBPN podcast, which shout out TBPN. I know we were chatting about them on a previous episode that got acquired by OpenAI. But let me just share this real quick because I think it'd be good just to see. All right, so just to at least give like a little screen share. I won't like play the
Oh,
video,
there you
but
go.
you got it. Cool. I'll link this in the show notes because I think this is a sick this is really cool example. So this dude here, Marcus Milione, he founded Minted, and I think we've talked about this plenty of times on the podcast, but like I love how there's like founders and owners of companies putting out personal content, like just doing personal branding behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
and that then leading like Nick Bayer of BPN is a good example, or like Ross McKay of Cadence, like putting out personal content through long form YouTube videos and then like Twitter and other forums. I think that just builds like a crazy affinity towards a brand. And Marcus, this guy, he founded Minted, and it's a clothing brand based out of New York City. Basically, in like COVID, he started like posting on TikTok and Instagram some stuff that he was working on clothing wise, and then they had a drop and like it sold out. He said in like 10 minutes or something, like their first ever, and then it's grown since like 2020 basically, and it's really sick. They kind of started as like clothing of like mainly clothing, then they dabbled in like running and sneakers, and then they've also had even like some supplements. He's a really big runner. Like, dude, he has some
Mm.
crazy like he's ran like a sub 120 half and some like legit splits. So he's put out a bunch of content behind the scenes of like building the brand, but then also training. So it's pretty cool to then see how like a clothing brand can also like offer, like gels, like running gels and like
The
um
whole thing. Yeah.
the whole thing. It's like it's really cool.
I'm on
And
their site right now. Interesting.
so his YouTube channel is sick, and definitely check that out. They've done a bunch of drops now with collaborations with Saucony, the running shoe brand. Dude, sick running shoes, and they just did one recently. And he went on TBPN, and I thought this was cool, Steve, because we've been in situations with like on the lead gen side with like performance max campaigns where you launch a performance max campaign and then it just brings a ton of junk and like bots through, and there's
Yeah.
some shit that you could do there to like prevent bots from like submitting forms that we've chatted about. But basically, he wanted to prevent bots from buying sneakers because in the sneakers game and just in general like the collectible game, like bots is like a huge thing where like you're just basically like purchasing as fast as possible during a drop so then you could like resell that. Basically, he said that he got on a call with people who've like been in the botting game before, and like was discussing like how can we prevent bots from just like ruining this drop here and making sure that like actual people who like support the brand buy. And basically he had like two checkout flows, and I think he let people know like, hey, here's like the actual real checkout flow. But basically there was one that was kind of like a fake checkout,
Like a
that
decoy product, right?
a decoy product that like the shoes were listed as 10,000 pounds, where when you go to like to the checkout process to like actually like go through and purchase, you couldn't get like a shipping label because like like you were not gonna like send something that's 10,000 pounds in the mail, like you just couldn't do that. And I guess bots just kind of got like stuck at that point, like couldn't check out. So like the other like decoy listing or like the real one, humans could get through that. So he's like pretty much prevented all the bots. It's funny because in the comments of the video he's like, this method's probably cooked now because now people are going to like figure out like how to like maybe have a response to that. But I'm like, wow, this was a fascinating way to like go through the process to prevent bots from pulling through.
Yeah, it's funny because when you say bots, I was thinking maybe just like price checking bots. I've seen that being an issue on Shopify websites where like thousands of bots come through in a day and kind of do a mock checkout to see what discounts are, but where the pricing's at on things. But this is malicious bots buying it to resell. Gotcha.
Yep. So like they would go and try and buy like 30 pairs of sneakers. So like then they kind of like screw over the actual people who like totally, support the brand. It's been a thing for like years now. Jordan releases when I was growing up, I remember that was like a real big thing, especially like on like any type of like, whatever, like they come out with a new version like Jordan 3s or
Yeah, I
something.
would be curious on like how he let the real users know what it is versus the fake one to the
I know.
bots.
I think he put it out on his personal socials. I'm pretty sure that's what he did to be like, hey, like here's like the actual path to checkout. It might look a little different. I think he just let people know so then the bots would get caught up in the other way.
Yeah, because all they needed bot just needs a URL, right? Maybe it
Yeah.
was like an email blast or something like that. And yeah, interesting.
But it
I
got me
like that.
thinking.
Yeah,
It got me thinking. I'm like, that's so cool. And I think like the fact that he's like, the CEO and the founder, like really in like the weeds and details of like how can we prevent this to build the brand, you know what I mean? Like respect people of like, hey, I don't care about just selling out my product as fast as
I love
possible.
that. That's
I'd
awesome.
rather have humans who like really like,
Yeah,
support me and support the brand buy and get the chance to do that. I think that's like so cool that he did that. Um,
yeah.
the other thing too is like like performance max side and just in general, like the paid side, um, more like a B2B lead gen scenario. I think anybody listening to this who's done like B2B, you're trying to generate form submissions to, book time with sales. If you launch a performance max campaign, ton of junk pulls through. It's just like almost a guarantee. There's just so many different things that you need to have in place. And even then, it's not a surefire thing, and bots will still pull through. I know, it just got me thinking. I feel like there's probably an opportunity on like the B2B lead gen side to prevent bots. I think it's probably going to get tricky though in like this AI world where there's probably always going to be once you have a patch, they figure that out and then move on to the next thing. Like it's a constant game to keep up with, but it really made me think there's probably an opportunity to like build a pretty substantial business if you could just prevent bots from pulling through from your ads.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see because I mean I know the platform right now like that markets itself to prevent bots is what ClickSees I think it's called.
Yep, they
Um,
call themselves Check now, but
oh,
the thing
check,
is
yeah.
like
That's
it's
post. That's
after the
post.
fact.
Yeah, it's post.
Yeah,
You buy it. The way that they frame it is kind of weird. I remember when we first signed up for. I'm like, oh, cool, we'll save money. It's theoretical money that you'll save because if that IP comes back again, then it can't click on your ad or it's blocked. Sorry, it can't click on it. They just block it from the list. But is the IP going to be used again from a bot? If it's smart enough, they just change
that's
IPs.
kind of what I was thinking there as well. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
apparently, I will give them a little credit. They did release a product that is like a form submit, like guard or something like that, like a
Okay.
guard for your forms. I haven't checked it out. I haven't used it, but like historically, that's been their business model. It's like blocking IPs, which is cool. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely there's probably a component, some like ad savings there, but it's not the initial form and like the initial bot that pulls through. Like they're not gonna
It's
prevent
funny.
that.
Why can't Google just do that for us?
I
Hey,
know they can.
they're outside of your geo because like it's as simple as that, right? If they're outside, if they detect an IP coming through off your ad and the link comes through and the click comes through and it's outside your geo, theoretically you shouldn't have to pay for it, but Google will let it slide through, right? And
I
it's
don't get it at all because they have the ability to do that.
well, they have all the data in Chrome browser. Like, I mean, the amount of
Exactly.
like, yeah, it's there, and Chrome browser's also in mobile too. So yeah, yeah, no, it's all
And
there. But
and
the bots are gonna get complicated, especially on the AI side, because it's
oh,
gonna
no doubt
mimic,
about it.
right? Like, um, yeah, I mean, they could. We had an issue a little bit with someone phishing as us, which we talked about a little bit internally. I don't
Yeah,
think I'm
yeah.
ready to talk about it quite yet now, but it's one of those things where like the amount of effort that it was done, it felt like it was really manual to get the list and curate the kind of phishing email. But I'm like, actually, it's not that hard. That's something like AI or agent mode in ChatGPT can go do that. Go crawl a website, detect what's there, etc., and provide information, and it'll get there. 95% of the way there. So yeah, I think it's just going to be really difficult with
I
bots
don't
down the road.
understand why Google wouldn't do that. Like it's not I get the whole like argument about like the daily active user stuff and maybe like some bots on like a social platform or something like that. I get that of like, maybe like inflating numbers. But when it comes to actual form submissions and bots submitting forms, like that's a terrible user experience.
I
Like
just think that the percentage of wasted or the percentage of revenue generated by wasted clicks far outseeds the opportunity of an advertiser increasing their spend based on performance. I think there's an algorithm there that like the math just doesn't math. Because if you think about it, if they had a really clean experience, like good traffic coming in, advertiser would naturally spend more, right? I just don't think it outweighs the amount of money they can make on that wasted spend.
Yeah.
So it's a business decision.
I wonder. Yeah, I would assume they've definitely, internally had conversations about this for sure, and did some type of like analysis, which I would love to know for sure, like what that actually is, because there's no way they haven't discussed this and tried to think through how to approach this, and they probably just came to that what you just said, like it.
Well, I also think like the reps that keep calling us from all over the place that are technically not Google reps, they work on behalf of Google, and they always want you to increase your conversion score, etc., or
Yeah,
your optimization score, which just
yeah.
increases the spend and stuff, and it doesn't necessarily work out, and you actually call them out on things. It's dude, I just think it's wasted spend dollars that they can tuck and hide. And it's just like, dude, any of the clients that we work with, like the actual search term reports of knowing what actually clicks are you paying for? Like, did you get like a visibility of like only like 20% of that? Like, that's crazy. How do we not have more?
I know.
I just think people just goes unnoticed, dude, and it's really weird.
I think that dovetails nicely into like the recent update from Google where they had what was it, like Google I/O,
Yeah,
like their
yeah,
yearly workshop.
yeah. Someone called
Let me
it
just
the
share this real quick.
Coachella
There's
for nerds. I think I saw it.
exactly.
I was like, okay, cool, man.
But I think this dovetails nicely into like this whole topic, and especially like the search terms in Google Ads, because I think it's like we kind of talked about this before, but I think like Google Ads is kind of pushing more towards like theme based advertising, if you will, where like especially now with like LLMs and people searching, people are just like naturally having longer tail queries. I for sure am, and like providing more context on both Google as
Yeah,
well as like an LLM. And I think that's only going to complicate like a search journey even further. So basically, Google, there's not a ton to share here, but shout out
yeah,
Barry, just always breaking stuff down. Search engine roundtable, um, Google's new search bar, the intelligent search box is how this is kind of branded. And basically, like, instead of like thinking of Google as like, hey, go to search to Google, now it's kind of like ask. Like they have like a little demo video where like it's basically like ask is like their kind of new their new little pitch line. I thought this so basically like the main kind of update here is they're trying to expand like their search bar functionality where you can go to Google on mobile or browser, and you can kind of see here you could actually like directly in the in like the little browser bar, you could upload videos, files, and images. This I think is a pretty sick example that they chose. They basically had like, somebody pull together like help me find a similar dress but in this color scheme under 150 bucks. Like this is something that you would not have done on Google historically, but maybe you would have done it in LLM. Now you can do that directly in Google search, where again you could add in a file, you could add a video, or you could add images, and you can kind of see like where this can kind of go here. And Google's main thing is like they're basically like, hey, we're trying to be like any type of like ask you might have, we can help you. And it's really kind of cool how they're making some updates here. I think this rolled out everywhere now that AI mode is live as of today. They have like a little minute 30 video that goes into a little bit more detail, but I think this is so interesting for so many different reasons. But
yeah. I think some
just
people are kind of
people just
confused.
being.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna
I
say.
was
I
just
think
gonna
some
say, just
people are.
people.
Boy, you
I
go.
got you. The last thing, and then I'm curious your thoughts. But I was just gonna say, I think the thing that's so fascinating about this that we've talked about before is people are just so used to going to Google to search things. Like it's just what it is. Like you've been doing it for 2 decades now. People are just so used to like if I need information, I'm going to go to Google. If I'm going to do a query on the internet, it's probably going to go through Google. Like the rails they own, kind of like how to direct traffic online, if you will. And this being completely free, the fact that you can upload videos, files, whatever, and do all of this like advanced search and research and whatever, it's like why would then I could see that like eating from a ChatGPT, if you will, of like
Especially
maybe
like a
like an
free
$8
chat
pro
GPT
version.
account. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, hey, we're gonna pretty much give you majority of the stuff that you could get in ChatGPT for like, a basic person. Maybe not somebody who's like looking for like professional use. It might be like a little bit different, but I just think the fact that all of this is free is such an advantage for them. And I feel like they could really like kill other businesses by like being free for so long until they die out. And then maybe they make some of this stuff like paid or whatever. But regardless, I feel like this is just such an advantage that they have.
Yeah, and I think so. What I was going to say before I interrupted rudely, sorry, was that some people are a little confused. We're like, it's not changing the search results. Like the box itself is just becoming the search box or the ask box is just becoming more in depth. Where you click on that little plus button, and it's like you can add images, you can add files, and it's got prompts for like creating images or a canvas, and it's got different models in there. And then when you click go, it doesn't automatically go into AI mode. Maybe some of them do, but you still kind of get that standard search result. But that standard search result now has an AI overview with this most of the time. So it's not necessarily a replacement, but I think it's Google getting into the way of, and we talked about this a little bit over Slack, where it's like, and I saw an ad for this probably a year ago when I was at the movies, and it was showing someone, it was a life progression of like someone that was maybe 10 to now that he's like in his 40s, where it was kind of like the whole experience of when you go to Google, you search for something, and then it got a little bit longer. And then as you're in your 40s and this ChatGPT came out, you're going to ask. Like it's an ask engine, not a search engine anymore, which it's brilliant branding. Like it's brilliant. We're like,
Dude,
it's
money.
not search
So good.
Google, not Google it, right? Google it has always been a big thing, right? Like Googling it kind of means search it, but it's like they're trying to pivot to be more of an ask. Ask Google freaking anything and it will come up with something. And an ask is different than a search, right?
Oh, for
Because
sure.
it's you're asking it to search on your behalf. And I think, yeah, dude, I think it's going to take some big chunks out of the Chat GPT, free, Sign of Things, Claude, all of them. Like this is going to be someone's default go-to for asking with AI.
Branding, to your point there, is just phenomenal. And it's like, it's just so simple and easy to understand for anybody. They like absolutely killed that. I actually just thought too of Ask Jeeves when you just mentioned that. Like that's how they're kind
Yeah,
of
they
like branding this with
sunsetted.
like
They
ask.
they
And
killed
I
it
think
last week or the week
I
before.
was
I
just
can't
gonna say they
remember.
just sunsetted that like last week. That's why I was just thinking of that.
Yeah,
That's totally
yeah,
done. But you could also think too to like in all of these experiences now when they're doing, like whatever use case there of like, Google like doing the research for you and like the agentic experience that it provides, how much more complicated search term reports would be within a Google Ads account. And that's where I think like to your point
yeah.
of the frustration
Games.
around like seeing like 20% of search terms is I think there's just so many more like long tail searches that Google's not going to want to give you like a paragraph in that search terms report. They've already told us that a lot of times those like longer tail queries, they're going to reduce that to kind of like a theme. So like maybe Nike shoes, there's 5 impressions, but maybe those 5 impressions were actually like, 5 different paragraphs that were Googled that just roll up into like the Nike shoes theme within your search terms
Yeah.
report, and just how complicated all of that's going to get within that user journey there. Um,
So I mean,
or,
okay,
or
let me
more so
take
for
it.
like the manager side.
So all right, I just thought about this. Let me take the Google side real quick, right? It's not even the Google side, but like let's just kind of think that thought experiment out a little bit longer. Is let's say that Google or users get way more sophisticated in how they search, right? And let's say in your search term report, Trevor, we have 100% visibility, but there is thousands and thousands of unique searches, phrases being done. There's not one to like. Maybe there's an overlap of two, but people are getting so advanced in how they search, and you get how would you look at that data and interpret what you should optimize towards? You're going to naturally try to draw themes out of it yourself somehow and get the data to make observations of it. You know what I'm saying? Does that track?
For sure. Yeah, totally.
I mean, I think there's some bullshit with Google hiding stuff now, but if in theory you can make that argument as searches get way more complex for everybody, if it's a blanket statement, then something's going to have to summarize the theme of what's going on. So maybe they're trying to get ahead of it. I don't know. I don't 100% buy it, but I
I think
get
giving
it.
them the benefit of the doubt there, but
Yeah.
definitely some valid, a valid percentage there. But I think there's probably a part of it too that they're just like kind of trying to hide, some nonsense that they
Yeah,
actually
and that's
like
the
charge
same
you for.
thing. Yeah, for sure. There's that. I mean, on the organic side, dude, it is very difficult to have your standard ranking reports anymore for like, hey, you rank for this term. You can get you can get impressions on, Google Search Console, but still a lot of those are like bot checkers that are coming through. So I could see Google Search Console doing a thematic type of results as well. Uh, it's definitely changing. Like it really is. The work. You know what's interesting? Like especially on the SEO side, I don't think the work is changing for what you need to do to have visibility. That has been the same. Like there are some nuances there, but the reporting side, that's where it's gotten really really challenging. Um, yeah, and then even on the paid side, it's just a bit of the same, just to become more challenged to the show what's going on. Especially if you
It
want
really
super
is.
control of your campaigns, like ultimate control of your campaigns, it's almost not possible now. Like I really think it's not possible.
No, there's like such a give here that where you kind of have to play the game to eventually get to the point where like, all right, this is kind of how we're going to maximize this channel. Like we're going to have to spend on some junk for a little bit. We're going to have to, whatever. But the days of like, just manual bidding and negating a ton of different settings and, whatever, those are like long gone and have been for some time
You
now.
yeah
And
you yeah because you're going to get to a point where even if you do knock out some big of those big negative keywords, it, you're going to get to into an account where your search term report is going to be nothing, and you're not going to know what those
exactly.
clicks are, and you're just going to be playing whack a mole for something that does come through, maybe. Yeah, but it's going to be so tight that I don't think you're going to get the volume that you need to actually have. Yeah,
I think
volume.
I think I think in this world, and I know we chatted with clients about this too. I think like your conversion tracking is honestly the most important thing in the world now in any ads platform, whether that's Google or Meta. Um, is your like pixel placement and like your conversion tracking. Like if you have the ability to get first party data, like you have purchases that pull through, that this was an actually somebody spent their dollars and purchased your product, or tied to a CRM. This was an actual business that fits our ICP that we had qualified conversations with. If you have
Maybe
that dialed and you feed that information to campaigns, I think that's how you win in 26 and beyond, at least for the
so.
time
Maybe
being.
that's why like e-commerce. Uh, Not that it's easier, but because the conversions are set up just with revenue, and most e-commerce platforms like Shopify, they have like a native integration to any of the ads platforms to pipe that data back. Um, to where the campaigns can optimize well, be it Meta or Google itself. But then lead gen, that's a little open in the air as far as like a good lead versus a bad lead
Yeah.
coming in. Because
Yeah.
you're only going to be able to pipe that back in if you have certain platforms, and that's where the challenge is. And the volume is technically
Yep.
pretty much not there most of the time too. So, yeah, that's an interesting one, man. Strange,
E-commerce really is like a little bit easier nowadays, I think, in like the
which
media
is
space.
weird because it's always used to be really challenging.
Yeah, it used to be the total opposite. But I think now it's like the purchase obviously it's so straightforward. Like this person with these, characteristics purchased product from us and they gave us money. We know who likes this brand and who will spend with us, and we could find other people. But like on the B2B lead gen side and like a software space or something like that, to get a form submission to pull through to be like, hey, I'm interested in your software. Like, I want to learn more and maybe chat with sales and do like a couple onboarding calls and whatever. That is much longer of like a feedback loop there as opposed to a purchase. And then also you got to think like the journey is just way more like back in like the 2014 2015, way more simplified. Like TikTok wasn't even a platform then. Like Reddit wasn't really like a thing. Like you kind of had Google and then like Facebook, for the most part. And like YouTube was kind of like, but now it's like you just have so many different social platforms. You have YouTube, you have all these streaming services, and then now like all these LLMs. Like somebody's research journey is so much more complicated nowadays than what it used to be on like the B2B side. So it's just so much more difficult than it once was.
Yeah, and then you throw in the attribution problems too, right? Everybody's got ad blockers up or their cookie policies that really restrict tracking information. Each of the ad platforms have their own
Yeah.
attribution model. It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like which way is the wind blowing? I think we're doing the right thing. Like
I know.
how's business doing? It sounds wild, but it's
I
like
know.
you got to execute correctly, and then there is a little bit of kind of what is it, quantitative, whatever the larger
Yeah,
data set look
quantitative.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you just kind of have to look at and feel through. That's some of my favorite conversations to have with clients, where it's like, cool, I know we got a bunch of numbers to present, but like, how's shit going? How's
Yeah,
things doing?
exactly.
Like, how's it feeling? You know, like that. I think we've talked about this before, like, but on a client call, like, dude, before you get in all the data, just ask how business is.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think that is like, so important and like amazing when clients are like open to that and like get it and you set expectations, you have conversations like that. That's awesome. But I think almost feel like we kind of got screwed in like, like the early 2000s and like like the 2015 days and like those types of things in that digital marketing was always like, hey, you could track everything. Like you don't have to
yeah.
like billboards and this TV stuff and this radio stuff. Sure, there's value and importance there, but like you can't track any of that stuff. You get like impressions and stuff, but it's a crapshoot. You have no idea do this paid online stuff because everything is tracked and you know everything. And
And
I think a
searches
lot of
were done,
these
and searches were simpler. Like it was a 3-4.
way
Like
simpler.
you're talking maybe you had maybe a 3 to 4 word phrase that would be your money phrase, like guaranteed. Like I
Yep.
remember like certain SEO campaigns were like, dude, we only want to rank for uh this 2 word combination.
Yep.
Let's say payday loans, like it's something as simple as that, or water filtration system, like just something wildly simple, but that's where the
Yeah.
traffic was. And it was like, dude, you could literally see if you drop a couple positions, traffic drop, or your paid campaigns, like, oh, competitor enters the chat and they're bidding on your top keyword. You're like, damn, we felt that, but it's just, it has changed. Users have
Yeah.
changed. Yeah, dude, those days were so interesting. It was like
It's
very,
so
very
nice to like think
lucrative.
back and look back on that.
Yeah, very lucrative, but at the same time, yeah, you're all banking your business on a couple of different search
Yeah.
terms.
And
Yeah.
you go from like the days of like 2, 3 keywords to paragraphs to images and videos thrown in that, search and everything to all of these different social platforms, all of these different LLMs that weren't around then, cookie tracking updates. Like there's just so many things that you could like speak to that like are significantly different and more complicated. And I think a lot of these like decision makers and companies and just like, a lot of times people that you work with aren't necessarily like in the ad platform and like managing campaigns like me, like they're kind of thinking of like how things used to be and like, oh yeah, like all this is tracked and like this is super straightforward, like
Yeah.
like
Dude,
but
I
it's
saw
just
an
it's
ad
not the
account the
same.
other day that had single keyword ad groups, like the SCAG protocol.
Yeah.
Like, and I had it like this person was like, should we be like, is this the right thing to do? It was kind of like just a look of an audit, and I'm like, I haven't seen that tactic in like 3 or 4 years, and I don't think it's going to have fruition on that.
No,
You know,
no, not at all.
because I mean, even how Google pulls in some of the search terms, you're like, whoa, how is that even related to this?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, they think it's related enough. So, yeah, it's really, really interesting, and I think I don't know if you're listening to this and you're non like if you're a market like if you're a business owner and you're like, dude, should I even hire an agency these days, or a contractor or an expert to do things? I think you kind of need to more than ever, like because there's so many different nuances to be transparent with you on how difficult things are. It's not impossible, but just difficult and different.
I think I completely agree, and not even just saying that because that would benefit our business, but I think somebody in the agency space that's like working with a bunch of different clients and has like access into different businesses and CRMs and like ad tactics and stuff. If you're working in house, you know what I mean? Like it's tough to like be on top of like all of these different updates and changes and stuff like that. It's just a little bit different. Nowadays it's just like, as we're saying, just so much more
I
complicated.
couldn't even imagine. Let's say I got out of college, I want to go work for an agency, and I get loaded in as like a entry level paid media specialist, and like I have to like manage Google ads. I I don't, dude. I'd have to have like a really great mentor to
Yeah.
not fuck things up,
Yeah,
or like get brainwashed by Google or some other like online expert that's actually not doing anything. He's just more of a guru. You know what I'm saying? Like that's got to be
for
really
sure.
challenging. Even on the SEO side of things, I could see that too, where it's like you've built like your whole knowledge base on something that, like, dude, does this actually work that they're teaching me? You know, uh, I don't know. That'd be really interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah, because
how if I would
especially
want to train someone like right now
especially you
in that
coming out of
space.
college with like minimal job or yeah, like minimal business and work experience. It's one thing to be like, hey, you kind of like buy keywords and like you have your phrases and you send landing pages that are, related to that theme. Now it's like this experience and journey is just like so much more complicated than it ever has been.
Dude, how many buttons you need to unclick before you launch a campaign so you don't like
Insane.
spend in like random places, etc. You know, it's like
And just
it's
understanding the nuances of attribution and how all of this stuff ties together
yeah,
and
let
like,
alone even know how to like set up tracking for your Google ads or campaigns. It's probably someone else and you're gonna trust that it's right.
yeah,
And then that's what you're optimizing is your holy grail. But then you realize that that metric is maybe based on clicks and not actual like form submissions. And then it's like, well, what I've been optimizing, that's man,
it's a lot. There's a lot there. There
yeah,
is a lot there. Oh man.
yeah.
You want to check out
Y'all want to do digital marketing?
dude, it keeps it interesting now, I'll tell you that much. There's like always something to like learn and like, something new here.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like you wanted to segue to somewhere else.
I was just gonna say something new here. We were just chatting on the last podcast. You're like, you know what? I think Twitter might be the
Oh
place.
yes, let's talk.
And I was like, all right, so I got the verification, like the Twitter verified profile. It's $4 a month for the first 2 months, and then I think it's $8 a month. So I'm just gonna give this a test for a couple months and see how it goes. Basically, like the verified stuff, you could like post like long form video. Like you can't do that through your like a regular like free account. I think you have like a minute 30-second video content. So you can post like clips and stuff for free, but
Yeah.
if you want to do like a long form pod, you got to get the paid version. And then it gives you some analytics in the back end. So I'll just if anybody's like curious about the paid stuff and like the verified profile and everything, this is what the analytics looks like on the back end.
So while you're pulling that up, I did see a news story that X is limiting the amount of posts free accounts can do. I still think it's like an obscene amount, or it's like 2,400 or something. But they're trying to cut
Wow.
down on the spam. But it makes sense. All right, what do we got here?
So I will say, what's interesting is I signed up for it, and let me see if I have. Um, I got like an immediate like follower bump. Does it have? Oh yeah. So I think this was literally the day that I signed up for the paid version was Wednesday. I want to say I just got 17 followers real quick on that day itself, and then
Did you
I
publish the
posted.
video
Yeah,
on
that's when I
that day?
published the video.
Yeah.
So I got verified on Wednesday, and then I published the video. This was our last podcast video.
Yeah.
So that went on the 20th, and I got 17 followers there. And then on the 20th, my post got 134 impressions. So this is what this will give you. So I think this is this is the account overview, like overall, like you're going to see how many impressions
Yeah.
your content's getting. And like, dude, I wasn't really posting like anything before this, like at all for the most part. It'll give you verified followers, impressions, engagement rate, engagements, all this bookmarks, all this different stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
What happens when you click on verified followers? Does that show over time? Okay, that's dumb. Just
The
show me
number
what.
of followers who have verified their account. Yeah, I don't know why it's
I
also at
would be
like
curious about
119.
that over time. Like, can you drop instead of impressions in the upper? Can you change that to like verified profile
Nah, just
followers?
new
Yeah,
follows,
click on
but
new
it's not.
followers. I'm curious.
Yeah, this was
Invite.
like the day. This was like
Oh,
that.
so
This
it's
was
just
like this box
buttons.
down here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting. All right.
bookmarks, engagement rates, secondary metrics, likes, followers, new posts, replies. So it gives you a good amount of stuff. And again, like this is brand new, so like it will break you down audience. I guess I don't have, obviously don't have like a ton here,
Yeah.
but this would be pretty cool. Like as you start posting more content and getting more serious about
So
this,
when you
like
go to
seeing.
content, is your post then?
Let's see this post. Yep. So this was the, I guess this was the post that since being verified, now it tracks these posts. This one got 118 impressions. And then I think this video would probably pull through. So this is just the one video that it would pull through. So I guess you could probably click in just to see. So it says I had 35 views on this. Video completion. Start and like you get 1 to 25%, 1 to 50%, and 1 to 75. So somebody watched 75% of this video. Watch time and hours, completion rate, and average watch time.
Yeah,
So
I mean, dude, an average watch time is not bad for like an hour, I mean, I know it's a minute for long. I mean, it's like still it's longer than any YouTube stuff.
Solid. I know. Like that's solid. And then you got live in spaces if you had some stuff here.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, this will give you a little bit of a.
That's fascinating. I mean, this alone has more metrics. I mean, I guess you can't tell who these people are that are watching it. But
UK, shout out UK.
Yeah, what percentage of it is it? Yeah, I'm curious. Dang it, makes me want to sign up for it.
Just so this is the impressions. Metrics. Yeah, kind of sick here. So that one was from likes. So I got a like from UK.
All right, so this is pretty much all the video. So I'm not surprised by the age group. That makes sense. Active time makes sense. Devices.
This is pretty cool. 87% of the impressions came from non-followers. So this is like Twitter just trying to find you, the people who resonate with the type of content that you're posting. So I'm assuming over time, you're consistent with this content and posting this, like this type of shit. Like they will eventually be like, okay, this account posts this type of content and these type of people resonate with it. So I'm assuming that's how
that's going to be shown up in the For You feed, right? Is that the because it's the For You versus following. Yeah, I'm always only on the following, but yeah, I can see what interesting.
And then you also have the ability to write long form content if you want to start producing some articles, which
there's monetization behind it, right?
And then you can get paid through this. So this is the Creator Studio revenue sharing. I'm currently ineligible. You need 5. So unfortunately, you're not eligible yet for creator revenue sharing. So you need to meet these. So I got this one. I need 500 premium followers and then 5 million impressions on your post within the last 3 months.
Interesting thresholds.
So that's interesting. So you just got to be pretty consistent with this, obviously. And I will, keep you guys updated if there's like if this changes, obviously.
That's funny because
that's pretty cool.
I have 491 followers on my account. Dude, I'm old, dude. This thing I joined in December of 2007.
That's amazing.
I wonder if I actually verified it. Oh, verified followers, I can see. There's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know if there's pages, but yeah, that's not many. That's funny. That's really interesting. Dang it, maybe I should do that too. Now I would be curious, can I repost? I mean, I reposted your tweet, but I didn't embed the video, right? How does that work from a video attribution? Like it's your video, I can't repost it, or if you gave me the raw file, I can repost it.
I'm assuming you could post it too.
If it's just the raw file, right? It's not like a YouTube thing where that video does that video have a unique URL like YouTube?
I don't know. I'm assuming my post would to share that.
It's just your post though, but it's not your video.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would assume you'd be good to go to post it. If multiple people upload the same image, you know what I mean, or like the same video, I don't see why that would be a problem.
Get verified. It's funny. I'm on my X account. It's like get verified. Like as I clicked on your profile, like Trevor, and stand out and get boosted reach.
Yeah, so they're definitely gonna put you in like recommendations and stuff like that to try to get you more impressions and followers for sure, and like push that profile, which is understandable if you're going to pay for it. And then you could also boost your post if you wanted to like put a little like spend behind it. You could boost your post. Yeah, there's some cool shit. I do think I'm going to play some articles.
Boosting of your, I wonder if you boost a post, does that count for your impressions to get the monetization? Because I used to fuck around with YouTube way back in the day to try to get that monetization side, that I would buy impressions because I think you just needed views at the time. Now it's watch time, but you would then like artificially boost the video metrics
Yeah,
And then it's like, all right, cool, I can get verified if I boost up to this. And then it's like, cool, I got engaged into monetization now. I think the followers are going to be always the hardest. It seems like you buy your impressions.
for sure. Maybe that's why they kind of thought through that of like, if there's other verified people that are following your profile, like this could be a little bit more legit than you just getting like a bunch of fake bots that are following your account.
I would be
You know,
very
it's like another
curious.
like filtration layer of like this account post quality because other accounts that are verified follow.
Yeah, dude, because I'm looking at the views in our on YouTube for this. Dude, we get like less than 10 views on every podcast that we drop.
You know what I think it is? Outside of just, like I think just raw talent for sure would be always a factor of like, you just have like a big brand or whatever, like for whatever reason, you just like are great at content.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a couple things that we could do better. Um, I think getting guests on the show would be really helpful. So like we
Yeah.
could poach their audience. I think clips would be really helpful to have some short form content that would get people interested to be like, oh, like I see their clips from time to time. I'm much more willing to check out a quick clip than I am the full podcast. So I think we could get better at posting clips. And then I think thumbnails. I got to figure out how to make better thumbnails because I think that's a real game changer. Like I've just listened to a couple of different podcasts on this topic as of late, and Open Residency is a really interesting podcast. This dude, just like interviews other entrepreneurs, and he had I don't know if you've ever checked out Colin and Samir on YouTube, but he had Colin on the podcast or Samir on the podcast, and dude, they're like in the YouTube game. Like they make a ton of content of like creator content of like, but they talked about thumbnails and the amount of work that they put into thumbnail generation and thumbnail design and A/B testing thumbnails. Even like your thumbnail and the theme of that thumbnail should be different than how you title the video. Like when I upload the podcast, I will upload like, your LLM tools lied to you, Google myth busting, like whatever that is. But the thumbnail will say the exact same thing as the headline. And they're like, that's completely wasted space because that's two opportunities to have different messaging there. And shit like that. Like I think like the guest clipping, but I do think like how you frame your thumbnails, because you got to think YouTube's like showing this stuff to people that might be interested in your content. And if I step back and I'm being honest with myself, I'm like, I can interact with other thumbnails and stuff because I kind of get like the vibe of what this video is about that I might like that theme. And when I see ours, I'm like, it's just not it. It's just not fully there yet.
I also go back and think though, little devil's advocate here is like, are the people that do digital marketing even on YouTube that want to
I
subscribe
think
to this
so.
shit?
I think so for sure. Just
You
I
think
think
so?
everybody's on YouTube. So I think like any demographic you can make the case is on YouTube.
Uh, I feel like X is maybe a little bit more active. It makes sense. I don't
Oh,
know.
X for sure. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the
definitely.
shorts game is interesting because like cool, you get views, but it's like, is it value? I don't know. You know?
I know. But I
It's
will say for me personally, I don't have TikTok and like I'm not like a shorts guy, whatever. But on YouTube, the mobile app, I don't know if you mess with it at all, but they have shorts on the feed. So they have
yeah.
like your videos and then they'll intertwine some shorts. And honestly, I've checked out a couple shorts from time to time just to see like a different topic or whatever, like something was interesting when I'm looking for a video to watch. There's like two or three people that come to mind that I've checked out a couple of their
But is
shorts
it
and
digital
then I've
marketing though? Is it
no,
more lifestyle? That's kind
no,
of where I think my point is at. It's like, dude, if you're on your mobile phone, you're probably not working. It's the same
for
argument with like
sure.
LinkedIn. Who the hell's on LinkedIn?
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
thing. Like, is it really? That's where like X, I feel like people are, I don't know, a
I
lot
know
more
what you're
active,
saying
but we'll
though.
see. Yeah.
I know what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah. But then you kind of spread everything out across all platforms, hoping something sticks. And it's like, well, where's the real engagement at? We'll have to see. Yeah.
I listened to Gary to Gary Vee recently, and as my dog freaks out, can you hear him in the background? By the way,
Yeah, a little bit.
oh
Yeah,
damn.
that's all right. Whatever.
But Gary, that was Gary's point. Was like, dude, you should be posting content on every single platform, all across the board.
And just see what sticks. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens with this. I'm very tempted to do the X side of things. I don't post all that
Get in
often,
there.
but for
Get in.
$4 or $8 a month, I'd be curious as an experiment to see what that does, let alone just the reporting platform of it all.
Dude, I honestly think too, Steve, like it would be interesting to like write some articles and some content there. I've seen some articles blow
I
up on
wonder
X.
if they rank in the SERPs. Do you have an
I
article link to someone?
like an article that like
Yeah, like someone that did an article on X. I just want to look at it. I can check if it's indexed real quick.
because I'm thinking, Steve, like if this Google update, like this algorithm update or something like that, and you wrote a POV on it, or just in general, shit like that, I would check it out for sure. Like I would absolutely check that out. I think there's a ton of stuff that you could write that would be like digital marketing focused that I would 100% check out.
Yeah, I'm just curious if the visibility is only on the platform or if it can rank organically. I don't think I've ever seen X in the search results. They used to be. Let me just see something real quick. Site:x.com. Okay, they're here. These are
Is there like a
individual.
little chat thing? Oh yeah. All right, drop this real quick.
Here, I'll
Can I
share my
chat
screen
you?
of what I'm going to do here. Or you just drop it through
Here, look, I'm slacking this to you.
screen x.com.
I just put one in the little podcast that we had, our little podcast channel.
Where is? Okay, yeah. Let me get that up.
I gave you a go. That's from Jack.
So this is the actual post. I'm just gonna see. Yeah, they are indexed.
They are indexed.
Yeah, it looks like it because that's the site:" command here. And I'm just gonna see something here. I'm gonna take a unique piece of content and see if it pulls. He reposted it. It looks like. Yeah, these are all scrapers reposting it. But yeah, posts do rank. This guy.
I don't see why they wouldn't, because like Reddit content ranks and stuff. So like, why wouldn't X
Well,
content rank?
they might just not purposely. Google might not want to index it, but this tells me that this does rank. It's just been syndicated so much that they're not necessarily attributing it this as the original source. But if that was your original source for it all, I am curious if I do. So the site:" command searches the index for X and any keywords within whatever URL they've indexed. If it has SEO update, I'm just gonna see May. I'm just seeing, not that it's gonna rank for, but you kind of see, okay, yeah, dude, this is all like this is 6 hours ago, 2 weeks ago, 12 hours ago. So they're indexing stuff pretty fast. And this is a post, and this is just the tweet, I guess. So longer form content could work. I just don't know how much they pull this into the search results. Actually, let's go on a journey real quick. Let's go to SEMrush. Let's drop this in. They rank for 146 million keywords in the search results. Looks like this has increased over time, which is interesting.
I wonder if that was like an AI overviews impact of like some quicker snippet answers.
Yeah, so if I search, like, what are they actually getting without Twitter on it? Like, OnlyFans, it's funny. So Yahoo, they rank 9.
Elon Musk was up
Let
there.
me do I have search volume? Let me see something. No, sorry. I'm going to do traffic real quick now. Yeah, so Elon Musk, where did I see that? See, it's so funny how they have, these are cards. They don't do the best. I'm looking just like a true organic result. I think I need to search off the search. No, I just want like normal results. They don't have that. I'm trying to find like a phrase that's not any of this shit. Like commanders. Let me just search that in Google real quick. You're not going to see my screen, but I just want to see if they show up. Yeah, these posts are too big. I actually want to look for like longer tail stuff. Let me just do something super random. Let's go to page 500. Ah! I can't do more than 500? That's funny.
I don't know, dude. SEMrush is just like such a mystery to me. Like, there any features like an upgrade. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, that's how they do it. Yes, these are
Like,
all
I just
like
don't get
one or
that.
two phrases. I'm trying to find like commercial. Maybe I say what? Let me just do something real quick. Advanced filter, including keywords containing how. Like, let's see if we can get like a longer, like a question that they rank for. You know, that is funny. That no, I want to do by traffic, not volume. How to delete a Twitter account. Oh boy, don't think I should search that one. uh, Yeah, like how many days till Halloween? That's funny. So it is kind of ranking for some things. I'd have to. This is so much data.
Yeah, there's so
Um,
many terms here. This
like
is wild.
how tall is Little Wayne? Like how many episodes in One Piece? How old is like? So it is ranking for stuff that is somewhat longer tail, that are not X related. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Let's see. That's funny. This keeps popping up. So it could be a play to do. I don't know if it technically. I guess technically it is. There you go. Like, how many kids does Philip Rivers have? It's not number one. Let's just search this real quick and see where if X shows up. I mean, people are going to probably click on that. TikTok, Instagram. There it is. So it ranks, right? So it is. So technically, you could do something called parasite SEO, where you use the domain of a high authority like a LinkedIn or X itself, and you do like a long form post, and it could rank, right? For things. So to your point, yeah, it's not a bad idea to put posts out there. They're getting indexed by Google, just like
I think
LinkedIn
it's cool.
posts to do it. And then yeah, maybe get monetization because I'm out on LinkedIn, dude. No, thank you.
Same. I think we all are. I think we all are at this point.
Well, I think that's probably a good spot to wrap it. Thanks for tolerating my last minute dive into X rankings.
That's good
Um,
shit.
I'll sign up for the premium. I'll put it on my to
Nice.
dos.
All right, cool. Alrighty. I think we'll call it there, folks.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Alrighty. Peace out.